Welcome back, guys, to another video. Let's talk about Vine Therapeutics. This is another penny stock that seems to have a ton of potential. And so far, Vine Therapeutics is getting some pretty massive news coming in. And I feel like a lot of investors and hedge funds are simply sleeping on it. The average volume is pretty good, but compared to all of the major penny stocks, which have volumes of upwards to like 30, 40 million, sometimes even 100 million volume in a single day, Vine Therapeutics is like a stock that people are sleeping on, especially how these guys have just announced some pretty massive news that equals to a lot of money. Before we dive any deeper into Vine Therapeutics, keep in mind that penny stocks are not good investments, and in fact, they're very volatile and very scary investments. If you guys want to invest in penny stocks, please put no more than 10 or 15% of a portfolio in it. And they're pretty dangerous investments. I really recommend probably buying like Apple, Microsoft, like the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ tech stocks. But at the same time, penny stocks could definitely be a very great way to make a portfolio more speculative and possibly even some explosive growth tendies. But let's get that out of the way because Vine Therapeutics is getting some big stuff. You guys may be wondering, who are these guys? They are a pharmaceutical company and they focus on developing and commercializing different therapeutics for dermatology. It's a massive industry, by the way. They do have a drug called AMZEEQ, which is a therapeutic treatment drug that does help with acne in patients 9 years or older. So they pretty much make these dermatology products. They help with acne, which is very, very big here in the US and across the world, especially how, for example, young teenagers and also some people that are older, they develop acne, and some people have very severe acne and they need treatment. And what's really interesting about Vine Therapeutics is they seem to be a lot of insider buying. If you check out Vine Therapeutics right here, the director, for example, bought a bunch of shares. The CFO bought a bunch of shares. The CEO bought a bunch of shares. Now, this is really good news because when you have a lot of insider buying, it means that a lot of people in them, the CEO, executives, and also the CFO, for example, they feel pretty bullish on the stock. When you see the insiders massively selling shares, it's generally a very bad sign because you're like, okay, man, like the company itself and all the people that manage it don't even like the company. Why should I? Insiders are buying in, and that's a good thing. Next up is some hedge funds are buying in. You do have the most notable one that recently went in pretty hard, which is BlackRock. They went in and bought almost 10 million shares, and now they own roughly 6% of the whole entire company. You also have Perspective Advisors buying in pretty heavy as well. Other notable guys include Morgan Stanley and also State Street Corp. And a lot of these guys have increased their position by like 100%. Morgan Stanley increased their positions by 4,000%. And if you look through the whole entire list, there's a lot of people buying into Vine Therapeutics. And pretty much every single one of them are either holding on their positions or increasing the positions. I think the only person that decreased the positions was like one guy, but compared to like all these different guys, everyone is essentially increasing their positions and people seem to love it. Especially BlackRock over here just straight up bought almost 10 million shares all in one sitting. I think BlackRock knows what's going to happen. So what's so special about Vine Therapeutics? Why should we even care? So AMZEEQ is a very good drug. These guys already got FDA approval on this. And this is going to be a treatment in the market for severe or mild forms of acne. And this affects roughly 40 to 50 million people in the US alone. And a lot of these guys really need some sort of medication to help with the acne. And this is a pretty big market, and obviously helping these individuals will be absolutely awesome. And AMZEEQ actually works. And they also have done a lot of tests. In a 12-week study test, there were like 2,400 patients. A lot of these patients experienced a lot of improvement. And the most commonly side effect of AMZEEQ was headaches, but that only affected 3% of the individuals. So the side effects really isn't that big, and it's pretty rare to get the side effects. It's just a little headache. But at the same time, AMZEEQ does help with a lot of people's acne, and this is a massive market. Vine Therapeutics, another big thing is they just announced a really good contract execution for their two drugs, AMZEEQ and also Zilxi. These are both acne treatment drugs that have already received FDA approval, and they will be partnering up and selling their drugs with major pharmacy benefit management, PBM company. This is big because you're a pharmaceutical company and you already made these really incredible drugs and also treatments that you really need to market out. Because the whole reason why you even exist in the first place is to not only make these incredible treatment options, but also make some money. Your investors already poured millions of money in your company, and it's honestly time to reward them for the patience and also risk. So right now, Vine Therapeutics isn't really getting the love compared to other penny stocks. I feel like Vine Therapeutics is pretty well sought after because they do have a working product, which most pharmaceutical companies cannot say. A lot of pharmaceutical companies that we talk about usually are in different phases of clinical trials, and once they go through the FDA approval process, it's a very scary and difficult process to go through. The FDA process is very tricky and very hard, but hey, Vine Therapeutics already has 2 treatment options that already passed the FDA process, and now they're already striking massive deals with other customers to start selling their treatment options. And so far, I feel like Vine Therapeutics is doing things right. And last but not least, we'll also talk about some of the price targets. On CNN, there were 7 analysts offering 12-month price predictions for Vine Therapeutics. The low price was $3, the medium price was $6, and the high price was $10. There was actually an analyst that is expecting Vine Therapeutics to hit $10 because of the upcoming contracts and the 2 FDA approval drugs. I think so far Vine Therapeutics is doing a pretty well job. If you check out the volume, there's really not that much action with Vine Therapeutics. The volume is always very, very consistent every single day. It doesn't really go up that much. It doesn't really go down that much. It's just a slow and steady stock. It's a pretty chill stock. In the past month, for example, you don't really see any sort of a massive volume spike. I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on Vine Therapeutics. These guys already have a working product. They are already trying to strike major deals with like pharmacy companies and just sell their treatment options. They are the only company that actually has FDA approved topical minocycline products in the market to treat severe and mild acne. So Amzeeq drug and also Zilxi, they are already having really good studies, already have really good tests. The results are pretty phenomenal. People seem to like them. And I feel like Vine Therapeutics would definitely be seeing some increased revenue. And obviously with increased revenue, they could definitely use the money to get more treatments coming out to help more people. And having one drug going through the FDA process is hard, but having 2 is pretty incredible. I think the reason why the combination between having actual working products going through the FDA approval process and getting everything green lighted, and then you also have this really amazing deal with PBM company to actually sell and also send your drug away, that is incredible. I think this is the reason why BlackRock bought so many shares, and this is why so many other funds and institutions are actually increasing shares or just simply holding on to the position. Virtually no one is selling shares. And I've never really seen this much activity from hedge funds in this one single pharmaceutical stock. I think this is like a gem in the haystack, and this is about it. Before you guys leave, I do not own any shares of Vine Therapeutics, but after looking through a lot of the data, I may be pretty tempted in checking it out. But for now, definitely check out the free Discord server in the description below. More than 23,000 members. There's also a Patreon link below, and also my second channel. Definitely check that out. Thanks for watching.